So I just wrote a poem, and one of the last parts were about making decisions that are from the heart. And I just want to elaborate on that because it just inspired me to talk about it. But basically, it's like when I was going through that indecision of whether staying and going back, it's like a lot of the decisions where I thought was my heart telling me to go back were just fear-based decisions. So it's like we have to spend so much time understanding our intuition. It's not about training, it's about understanding what our intuition is telling us, because we have so much training and programming that's inside of us that has made us not able to fully hear our intuition. And it's only through listening to it more and more and more do we understand what our intuition is telling us. But the thing is, like, a lot of the times is that we think we're making logical decisions, but really we're making a decision from fear, and it's not a place from the heart. So for example, it's like logic can tell us that, oh, don't pursue something, even though we feel our heart, like whether it's a person, whether it's a place, whether it's a job, a thing, what a passion that we want to do. It's like our heart will feel it so deeply that this is right for us, right? But then our fear will say, oh, what if it doesn't work out? What if it's not the right decision? What if it ends badly? What if, what if, what if? And we'll make up all these what ifs in our mind instead of being led with our heart. Because if it's a decision that's led with our heart, then it is the right decision, because our heart is leading us down the right path. Our intuition is leading us down the right path. So it's like, for example, like, it's like, I think it's like a lot of us, when it comes to love, for example, right? We have a hard time knowing when we feel chemistry towards someone. We have a hard time deciphering, oh, is that just, am I just driven by passion and chemistry, and am I not logically thinking this through whether it will work out or not? And I think that's why I always say chemistry and compatibility need to coexist for you to have a thriving relationship, right? If you just lead on chemistry and there's no compatibility, then you're just going to end up in heartbreak. But if you lead on compatibility alone, then you just have a friendship with someone and you have no spark with that person, you have no passion. So you two need to coexist, and that only happens by getting to know someone on a friendship level, really getting to know who they are, right? Because the thing is, what happens is that we rush into chemistry and we go from 0 to 10, and our heart is telling us this is right for us, but then we haven't taken the time to really get to know that person and see what they're about, whether they're truly compatible with our values, with our perceptions on how we want to live and how we want to raise a family and where we want to live. And all of these things matter, because if you're sacrificing things for another person just because you feel chemistry towards someone, you'll feel unfulfilled in the long run. Because it's like, yes, there's certain sacrifices that you need to make in terms of, like, in terms of a relationship, in terms of a job, in terms of anything. Like, for example, if your passion career is somewhere in the middle of nowhere, or somewhere where you have never seen yourself living, you go and you try that passion because of the fact that it's what you're passionate about. That's what you felt like you were meant to do. So your heart is leading you to that because that's what you're passionate about. However, when you get there, it's like, it's going to feel overwhelming, and you're going to feel like, oh my God, what did I do? Why did I make this decision? Because the environment was something that you're not used to, right? But if you're going with your passion, then you'll create, everything else will be aligned with you because you're following your passion. That's how I think it works. And then in terms of relationship, for example, if you're not going from 0 to 100, yeah, sometimes we make that mistake and we go from 0 to 100, right? But if you feel passion towards someone, and then you take the time to build a friendship and really get to know them, then you can see whether that foundation builds stronger and stronger. So whether you guys align on what I said, values, perspectives, political views, life views, like all of these things, spirituality, like, do you align on all these things? Because if not, then the chemistry will fall apart. The chemistry will, quote unquote, fade, because you don't have all these other things aligned, right? There's people that in our life that are soul connections, right? We came into this world and we signed contracts with people before we entered into this body. And some were karmics to teach us a lesson of what things we did need to work on from past lives. And some people are soul connections that are meant to be lifelong partners, that we don't need to learn anything anymore. We'll always be learning, but that's where we enter in when we've fully healed. Not fully, but like we've healed enough to be able to come together where the relationship is not going to be toxic and detrimental, that will have effective communication when you come together, and you'll learn and grow with each other. That you're going to have moments where you're triggered and all that stuff, but you'll learn how to handle it in a mature way where you're not damaging each other, where you're not breaking each other's down, where you're actually talking about like, hey, this is what hurt me, this is why it hurt me, and the person's not like, oh, defensive and saying that, I don't know why you see it like that, or I don't want to talk about this, leave me alone, don't bother me. No, you're going to be mature and be like, hey, can we talk about this? This is what I felt. And the person's not going to just put up their armor because of the approach, the way that you're coming at it, the tone of which you're expressing to the person